Welcome to Bite Size Rando. I'm BDR Kirby, and today we're going to go over an interesting pathing decision that came up in an SMZ3 race that I was watching. So the situation is like this. You've just cleared Aga, and you have Dark World access through Aga. So you have the Moon Pearl and the Glove, but you don't have the Hammer or the Myths. So your Dark World access is through the Aga portal. You also have the Mirror, importantly, and you also have the Hookshot. So you kind of have access to the rest of the Dark World by hookshotting across this gap, and then if you continue walking along this way, you'll eventually get to, Village of Outcasts and Thieves Town and all that. But before going that way, you decide to make a quick detour and check Catfish along the way. So you end up walking this way, and then eventually you end up making it to Catfish to check this item. Maybe you have already done the Zora checks and you feel like you're worried about Catfish being isolated, or maybe you just want to be thorough. Maybe you're worried that your hammer or something else important is here. So for whatever reason, you end up checking this item, and then after getting it, you have two options. You can either walk back the way you came. You're going to go up these stairs, and you're going to make a few screen transitions to get back to the way you came, to where you came. The other option is you can save and quit from here, and since we have the Mirror and we've defeated Aghanim, we are going to end up starting at the Pyramid. And from the Pyramid, we can walk down and go right one screen, and then eventually make it back to the screen where we hookshot over, right? If we go this way. So which one of these two paths do you think is faster? Worth it to save and quit? Or is it better to just walk back the way you came? Well, let's look at the videos and let's see. So first I'm going to show it without boots, and on the left I'm going to save and quit, and on the right I'm going to walk back the way that I came. And of course for all these, it's assuming that you have the hookshot, so you'll see that I make use of the hookshot in these clips when applicable. That is both to, hookshot to fence posts or rocks, as you can see that I'm doing here, as well as to stun enemies, since usually it's going to be a little bit faster to just hookshot an enemy rather than slash it if it's in the way. Of course, that especially applies if you have, fighter sword if you're swordless. So you can see that in this situation, it's actually faster to just walk back the way you came instead of saving and quitting, right? So it's going to be faster to walk back the way you came by, I think, a few seconds here. Yeah, so the difference about maybe 2.5, 3 seconds, something like that. So, of course, I can show the same thing with boots. Now, with boots, it's a little bit more interesting. Since we have the boots and the hookshot here, we can actually do a lot of hook speed setups in both routes. So you can see on the left route, I'm using these stairs here, and on the right route, there was a hook speed in the first screen. So with boots, the two routes are actually a lot closer in terms of timing. So for this one, the time difference that I timed was pretty negligible. So I'd recommend going with whichever route you feel is more comfortable and consistent to you. If you want to keep things simple for memorization, you can just always walk back the way you came, since that's the way you do it without boots. There are a couple tricky parts in both of these routes. So in the right-hand route, there's this hook speed here, which can be a little bit tricky because you have to navigate around here and you have to get this enemy, and that can definitely go wrong. If you hook speed and then hold up for too long, you might splash into the water, and that might waste time. So that part is a little bit tricky here. On the converse, for the left side, you do this hook speed here, and then you're going to have to weave your way through these 3 enemies that appear on this screen. So that's kind of a danger on the left-hand route. So both of them have their own advantages and disadvantages. I would say just try them both and see whichever one you like best, and you can go from there. So with boots, you can kind of pick and choose, but without the boots, I would definitely walk back the way you came instead of saving and quitting here.